Hello everybody. So today we're going to get into the meat of things, actually drafting the pattern for our simple tote bag that we're going to be making. So this bag is going to be, well, we don't know how big it's going to be yet because that's what we're about to figure out. So my bag, because I've purchased this this zipper and I'm not using zipper by the yard, the width of my bag is going to be determined by the zipper. So I'm going to get a measurement on this, and with the ends here it's coming to about 17 inches. Now it's a 16-inch zipper from stop to stop, but I'm going to be folding this back on itself when I assemble it in the bag. I'm not going to cut it or anything like that, so I'm going to place this down here and get a general length, which is, I'm going to give it about 16 and a half. That way it leaves me a little bit of room on the ends. Actually, I'm going to give it a little bit more. We're going to call it 17. And then I'm going to add an inch to that for the seam allowance. So the width of my fabric needs to be 18 inches. So I'm just going to jot that down. I've got 18 inches wide. Okay, so a couple of other things that we need to determine. We need to know how tall we want our bag to be. We need to know how big our gusset needs to be. And if you're not familiar, let me pull out a bag. This is one of my other bags. So this is the gusset. It's the width of the bag at the bottom. The height. Now for me, because I'm using this canvas that I waxed, and I have a limited amount of it, I'm actually going to be using the width of my material as the length of my handles, which I think this is 22 inches. Roughly 22 inches. So that's what my handles are going to be, but you can make yours longer if you have more material. I'm kind of stuck within this. So anyways, my handles are going to be 22 inches. I'm also going to need strap connectors so that I can connect the handles to the bag. So I'm going to say we're going to use probably a 2-inch wide by 4-inch strip of material, and that's going to give us a 2-inch wide by 1-inch wide strip. So I've written 2 inches by 1 inches in parentheses, and we're going to need to start with a 4-inch by 2-inch, and that's going to be a single fold and then a double fold, and we'll get into that once we have all these things marked out on the fabric and when we get into making the bag itself. I already have on my little dish over here my rectangle rings, which I'm going to need to connect those. Okay, so we've decided what the width of the bag is going to be based on our zipper. If you're using zipper by the yard, make it whatever width you'd like. Let's see. Next, we want to decide how tall we want our fabric to be. Now, again, I'm constrained by this 22 inches. So I kind of want a pretty wide gusset on my bag because it's going to be a pretty substantial bag. I think I'm going to go with a 5-inch gusset on this bag. Now, the purple bag that I just showed you, this one has a 6-inch bottom. So, yeah, maybe I'll go with a 6-inch bottom. So, the way I need to calculate this, let me show you this real quick first. We're going to be making this bag out of rectangles. So, I'm just going to kind of roughly draw in a rectangle over here. I know it's not square or anything like that. So, we already know that this is going to be 18 inches. So part of the bottom part here on this rectangle is going to be the gusset of the bag, the bottom, because that's going to be folded under. We're going to take a notch out of each side. And that notch, the size of that notch, is determined by how big we want our gusset. So we're going to have 2 pieces of this. And if I want a 6-inch gusset on my bag, I need to divide that by 2, which is 3, and I'm going to cut out a 3-inch notch. It's going to go 3 inches in and 3 inches up. So now I can take the height of my material, and I'm probably going to take about 2 inches off, so that I've got 20 inches to work with. 3 of that is going to be dedicated to the bottom of my bag, plus an inch for seam allowance. Because we're going to need seam allowance here for the zipper and seam allowance on the bottom to attach the 2 pieces together. So, if I have 20 inches to work with, and I know that 3.5 inches is going to be dedicated to the bottom, then I have 16.5 inches to work with for the height of the bag. So that is going to be the height of the bag. So we're going to cut a piece at 20 inches. So we're going to cut a rectangle that is 18 by 20. We're going to cut 2 of those actually. For our strap, we're going to need the 22-inch length times 4. Or at least for my bag. For you, it's going to be the length of your strap times 4 because it's going to be a double fold. Alright, so I'm going to grab my ruler, and the first thing that I'm going to do is square off my end. Actually, what I'm going to do is draw a line. If I can find a pen that will write on the wax canvas. Okay. So I've kind of squared off my material as best I can, running the width of the mat. Now I'm going to come just inside where my wax is and make sure that my ruler is straight. And this is my starting point. This is the line that I'm going to be working with for my bag. So I need to come off the bottom of this. I'm lining up my ruler to using this line as a point of reference, making sure that it's straight. And I'm gonna make a line that is 18 inches because that's how wide my bag is going to be. And I'm just going to make a little reference mark there. So I have my starting line there. That's not going to be where I'm going to cut. That's just, well, it is, but it's not the correct length. I'm going to do that now. So this is 18 inches wide. Now I need to make a mark up a little further so that I can make sure that my box is going to be square. So I'm going to put my ruler on the 18-inch line. I'm going to line it up on that line that I made. And I'm going to make a mark here. And that's just so that when I come over here and make a 20-inch mark up the side, I can line the ruler up with this and with this, with the line I made here and the line here, and that's going to give me 2 points of reference to make sure that I have a straight line. And we're looking good. I have this on the 20-inch mark, so I'm going to go up the side and across the top because I know this is 20 inches. And that's going to give me an additional point of reference. Sorry if my head is in the shot, but I got to get up in there. So now I can come up here and line this up on the 18-inch mark and make sure that I'm square here. And I'm meeting that line, that corner is lined up there. And there's my first rectangle. Now it looks like it's super tall and kind of narrow. It's not going to be, because remember, 3 inches of this is going to be the gusset of the bag. So this is actually going to be part of the bottom of the bag. All right, so now we can move over and use this as a point of reference to do the next rectangle. So I'm going to line my ruler up, and I'm using the bottom here and the line on the side so that I can line these pieces up right next to each other. And we're going to go out and up the side. Come over here and line it up on the 20-inch, making sure that I'm lined up here on the side. Let's pull this back here so we can really see what's going on. I'm going to line up my ruler here on this edge and with the 18-inch line. There we go. Just going to make sure this line meets right here. And there's our front and back panels for our bag. And we're going to need to do the exact same thing for our lining pieces. Now, due to material constraints, I'm not going to be using this canvas for the pocket of the bag. It's going to be the same waterproof canvas that I'm using for the lining of the bag. So it's going to be a gray waterproof canvas with that purple edge across the top. So from here, I need to get 2 4-inch by 22-inch pieces. So I'm going to use my line that's already here. And just go from one side to the other. And I'm going to use that same line to draw another line 4 inches away. And then I'm going to repeat that step for the other handle. So there's my 2 handles. So now I need 2 pieces. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom that are 2 inches by 4 inches. So I'm going to mark one that is 2 by 8. And then I'll mark off the 4-inch. Mark in the middle. And those are my 2 strap connectors. So for your lining, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 18 by 20. And then toward the bottom, or at the bottom, in each corner, you're going to mark out a 3 by 3 square. For my bag, whatever size you want your gusset, you take that measurement, divide it in half, and that's the size you're going to need. For me, with a 6-inch gusset on my bag, I need a 3-inch square. I'm going to do that on both pieces. There we are. So our bag is going to be almost a square. Finished, it'll have it, my bag will have a 6-inch gusset. It's going to be 17 inches wide and 16¼ inch tall because I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance at the top where the zipper is installed rather than a 1/2 inch. So go ahead and get your exterior pieces marked and cut out. Do the same for your lining pieces. All right, so I have my exterior panels, my lining panels, my straps, and my strap connectors all cut out. And now I need to go over the pocket because I managed to leave that out. So let's do that really quickly. Now I'm going to be using the same waterproof canvas that I'm using for my lining. It has a PVC backing. So I'm going to set this aside. Actually, I'm going to pull out one of the exterior panels. So that's going to be about the size of my bag, roughly, once everything is stitched together. The sides are going to kind of angle out like this because my gusset is going to be here at the bottom. So I need to determine how far up my bag I want my pocket to go. And I'm going to say I want it to go about halfway up the bag. So I'm thinking if this is 16¼ inches, I want it to go 8 inches up. So I need to take 8 inches from the top, and that's where I want my bag to, or my pocket to go. Now I can line this up on my mat and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to say 8½ because of that 1/2 inch at the top, 1/4 inch in my case. So I'm going to want my piece to be cut at 11 inches, 11½ inches by 18. So 11½ and 18 is going to give me the right size pocket. Now, if you're using something that needs to be lined, consider that, or you can double your fabric. So in that case, you would take your fabric and you would cut a 23-inch by 18 piece, and you would fold it in half, and that would form the top of your pocket. You would top stitch across that and attach it accordingly. But I'm not going to be doubling mine. I'm going to be putting an edge on the top, and I don't mind the PVC backing being exposed inside the pocket because this bag is going to be used for camping gear. So however you'd like to do yours, you're going to, consider and work accordingly with that. If you're using a lighter weight material, remember, you're going to want to interface that as well, probably a woven interfacing. Something like SF101, or I use Woven Fuse from gotinterfacing.com. Just a woven interfacing. So we decided that I needed, what size did I need? 11½ by 18. And I think I have 11½ here. Let's see if I have that. Easily. Do I have 18? I do. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this off because all of this material up here can get a little fiddly. Again, I'm going to use the edge of my material to create a straight edge. That's where my 11½ is going to come from. Turn it around this way. And I need to come 18 inches off of that. And I'm doing it the same way I did before. I'm using this line as a reference. And I could actually put my 18-inch mark on that line would make a little more sense. There we go. I almost didn't have enough there. So I'm going to go across the bottom and up that side there. Then I'm just going to scooch right over here and put that 11.5 inch mark on the line. And I'm going to line it up where I went up the edge of the ruler as well. And this is going to make sure that I have a nice straight rectangle. My corners are all squared. I'm going across the top again, and then this time I'm going to come up, lining up my 18-inch mark on my ruler here, and making sure that I'm square up here at the top. That looks good. So for this, I'm also going to need those 3-inch squares in the corner. So if you're lining the pocket with a different fabric, you're going to cut it out just like this, but you're going to add 1/2 inch to the top so that you can sew the two pieces together right sides and then flip them around. You know, sometimes you want a pretty fabric on the inside of the pocket so that you catch a peek of that when you open the pocket up. You know, it's those little things, those little details that are really cool sometimes. All right, so I'm going to cut this out really quickly, and then we will get to sewing the bag very, very soon. If you have any questions between now and next week when the video will be posted, I'm actually going to wait. I was going to record both videos at the same time, record this one and then go ahead and make it and record it, but I've decided that I'm going to wait to record that video until after this video is live. That way, if anyone has any questions about the drafting process, if I wasn't thorough enough or clear enough on anything and you need more information, you can ask those questions and I can address those at the beginning of the making the bag video. That way I can, you know, be of as much help as possible to you. Because I know sometimes we learn differently, and I want to make sure that, you know, pretty much anybody could follow this tutorial. So let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, or feel free, if you don't want to leave it in the comments, to send me an email at the email address that's in the description box below. And consider, you know, liking the video and hitting the bell notification. That way, you know, if you enjoy the content and you want to know when more videos go live, it will send you an email notification when that happens. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun little project, and I can't wait to use it this summer when we go camping.